Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us again. I am the host, Cynthia, and this is Your Vision 2020 Summit, where we are giving you tips, strategies, and steps on how to take the vision and make it an actual reality. And with that being said, we have the honor and the pleasure of having Solara Rose with us. She is an international channel and high frequency flow mastery for abundance. And I'm sure we all can use a little more abundance. And, and so she will be speaking with us about those things and much more. So welcome so much, Solara.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. It is an honor to be here. And I'm really excited to channel and play and explore together.
Yes, that's so great. As we were just discussing before, I was saying you're the first speaker we have in this category. So can you please tell us a little bit about you and also what you do?
Yeah, so, oh geez, where do we even begin with this? Such a backstory. Well, my passion really is to connect people back to their own power as sovereign divine creators and their experience, to connect them to their prolific flow and channel and stream of pure life force, pure power, pure abundance, their capacity to choose and decide and direct their experience from a space of pure love, of pure abundance, and to really just to become the flow of universal abundance, to become living vortexes. So, those moments where everything's flowing, we're on this natural, pristine, organic, energetic high, and we're creative and we're fertile, and everything seems to be lining up for us magnificently in our reality with little to nil effort on our behalf, but it just is a natural emanation of our beingness. So my passion is to connect people back to that space and place within their own being, their own power, their own genius, their own gifts, so that they can really live from that space and really experience life as this novel unfolding of miracles and grace and beauty and all of this.
Wow, that is so beautiful. That really is. I mean, I don't know how we get out of that space and then, to come back to that space. That's just, I believe, how we were created in the beginning, from love and, pure abundance and things like that. So how did you actually get into this type of business coaching or flow, if we want to call it?
Yeah. Well, so, to sum it up in the quickest way possible, I experienced a lot of really intense trauma and catalytic experiences from a very young age. So the thing that I craved the most was freedom. I mean, I really craved total freedom and sovereignty and autonomy over my being. And I used to have these dreams when I was really young of being magic. And I would, in my dreams, I would be able to simply request what I wanted, and it would literally actually crystallize and appear in my physical reality right before me. So there was a sense, it was just pure wonder and magic and enchantment and awe. And it was just this gorgeous space of innocence and pristine energy. And it was so natural. And so I inherently knew that magic, that capacity was in me somewhere. So I went on a quest, many different quests, 10 years on a solo journey, traveling with one backpack. And at the time I had my car, and then eventually I released my car because I was flying so much. And I was traveling and I was studying different sciences, different religions, different philosophies, connecting with thousands of brilliant people from all over the world, leaders, teachers, normal people, just having fun, experiencing life, all of this, and just becoming really cultured in many different ways, and just exploring all of all of them were like little pieces. If you can imagine what I'm seeing is a vision of like a neural network going through the human mind, imagining that life is a larger quantum intelligence. It's a massive neural mind network. And so all of those pieces of gold, those jewels, those gems that I was picking up along my path from within my own being and within all of these methodologies and these studies and all these beautiful people that I was meeting were all keys that kept unlocking greater freedom and greater awareness until I came into a space of the full synthesis of that intelligence and that energy, which is when I really started to experience what I would consider ultimate freedom through unification. So it was realizing that I am the infinite, that I am all that is, I am, and being unified to the truth of my pure genius and my pure divinity within and as I am in relationship to all aspects of my own reality. So with that, on a more practical level, I went through in my own journey, and this can be instant and maintained when we have the proper tools, but in my journey, it was very sequential, and it was like moving up a spiral of sorts, where I was constantly releasing resistance and unwinding tension and trauma in my body, letting that go, opening up to more of my power, opening up to more flow, letting it in until I eventually learned how to allow it to cascade through me.
Wow.
Continuously. And then
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're great.
I mean, I'm just like, wow, that's so good.
That's what, I really feel like with anything that I share and express, my greatest hope and desire is that it at least acts as a catalyst for inspiration and remembrance, because we all have, this is who we all are naturally at our core. And in that, I started to, I would unlock greater depths of love and like, oh, this is how I be that energy in action. This is how I be a faithful steward of my here and now. This is how I be a source of love to my body, to my environment, how I connect to my food, how I, make love in my relationships, how I connect to my finances. Like what is my relationship to all these aspects of my life? And am I living in love, in harmony, And so that energetic was first opened to and allowed within me, and then it just became a natural emanation and expression of my being through my actions and in how I cared for things in the physical world. So I started to go, in a planning level, like what feels the most nourishing and expansive and exciting and joyous to my being on a daily basis, where I can be fully present to all these aspects of my experience, like taking care of my nutrition and my physical health and my movement and all of this. And also, stewarding my creations and my service and my inner garden by meditating and visioning. How can I be a faithful, steward to my clients and my community and my family and all of this, and just carving out spaces each day for all of that. And then that became so ingrained that now all of those things happen. It's almost like brushing my teeth. They just happen automatically.
Wow. So how do you think we get so disconnected? Because everything you were speaking on, I truly believe, soul being and things like that, and that we should operate, as I said, quote, we should operate from love. Why do you think that we're so resistant to that? Why we don't operate in love? Why are we so disconnected? And, instead of trying to be connected, and a lot of times over the things that you just mentioned, how we are stewards, we don't even think of it as that. We think of it, I own this is mine. I have to fight for it. And all of these things that go on that like you said, it like disaligns you, because that's not who we were aligned to be in the first place. So how do you propose we get to such a space that we're not connected with ourselves?
Right. So, a lot of this has to do with, well, one, the inherent genetics that we come into this reality with through our lineal patterning and programming. So on a very visceral level, what we come in with. And then also, we at a very young age, we're literally trained or put into systems that are hyper-structured and controlling of what our natural organic rhythm and flow might want to be and express as. So we literally disconnect from our own natural rhythms and go into this whole structure that has been laid out before us for how we need to be, when we need to show up, how we need to show up, what we need to be doing, what we need to be focusing on. So our attention has kind of been hijacked from, our truth, our soul, our heart, our essence, our creative expression, our emanation, how we want to flow like silk through the world, how we want to be these beautiful cosmic expressions of music and poetry and beauty. And so we've got to, when we, we're in the process of fully claiming and inhabiting our sovereignty and agency over our being again, allow ourselves to disconnect from some of those structures and move more into the flow of what we want our life to be. And so it's really cultivating our connection to pure truth. And I love to go, my energy is very spearheading in this way, is that I just like to go to the source of truth. Like, what is natural, organic, inherent. Who am I really? How does nature operate? What does nature say? Aligning to cosmic law in life, the principles of nature herself, and focalizing that, cultivating that, becoming intimate with what our true nature actually is, and starting to gracefully release from all of the things in our lives that have kept us so disconnected from that. And then, reorienting powerfully to pure truth.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And I think it's a process that we do go through. Like my daughter, she has, they said, delayed speech. She doesn't communicate like you and I are communicating. She will be 5 in June. And then, like, of course, they try to place all these names and categories on her because she's not flowing according to the way that they say, children progress and, you progress in life. And it didn't hit me till I think she was like about 3.5, 4, that maybe the way she is progressing is the way she is supposed to progress. And so I had to take my intention off that, she should be doing this by now. She should be doing that by now, and start to embrace her as her person, because I believe that she is a gift to us, and that a normal gift is something that's beautiful and unique to itself. It's not anything that is broken or messed up. So however her life is to be designed, then I have to embrace that as it plays out. I can't put conditions on it and make it shape into the way that I want it to go. And it was just a struggle to, try to get through that, because as you're saying, like, as you're being brought up, you are told you do this, you say this, you act this way, you don't act that way, you don't do this, you say this, you don't put your hands here, you don't do that. So you have all these things that you constantly are playing to yourself all the time, that's categorizing you to be the person that maybe you're not meant to be.
Yes, you just, there's so much. I mean, almost like my being is like almost moved to tears, because one, I can feel your daughter's energy, and she is beautiful. And what I hear around that, like so much wisdom that just poured through you, because she is here teaching the gift of what it is to be an actual steward to the cultivation of the garden, to see it in its perfection at each stage. This is, what it is to be with the patience of watering the seed and allowing it to grow and giving it the space to come into its full ripeness and abundance and production and fertility and all of this. And so she's a gorgeous, gorgeous invitation to honor the beauty and the perfection inherent in each moment and stage of the journey itself. And to even invite you into that space, which you just got.
Yes.
Which is quick.
Yeah. Because it was difficult because, of course, as you're pregnant and then as the baby comes, you start to envision, certain things in lives. And then I think what we do is we start to put conditions on our children. And meanwhile, maybe that's not the way they were born to be. But we have developed this whole scenario in our head, and we want it to play out. And then society helps reinforce, the traditional way it should go if it's not playing out correctly. Because, like our school systems, they say so many things. I'm like, okay, I don't believe that. If you want to help me with helping, her name is Victoria, with helping Victoria grow into the person she wants or she needs to be, I'm happy to, but we're not going to force her into something she's not. It's just not going to work like that. I don't believe that she's been put here to go through that. So, yeah.
This is one of those stunning spaces and places too, where, brings me back to the wisdom of nature. A tree doesn't force itself to grow. And as humans, we get into, even in the developmental industries, you can get into the space of, I should be here, I should be at this level, I should be doing this, I should be. And it's like, you're perfect. You're exactly, exquisitely, precisely where you need to be. Just savor where you are, because it's all this is an unending, novel, unfolding journey that we're all on. So why not just savor all aspects of that unfolding, of that flowering, of that blossoming, of that expansion, and just be with where we are and what we need in the moment. And you know, we don't have to force anything. And in the non-forcing, so 3 things, and this is actually from Eckhart Tolle, and it's brilliant because it's just profound to how we can access this flow immediately. Non-resistance, non-judgment, non-attachment. And in my own journey, what I've experienced is non-resistance being the most powerful one. So when we can release our resistance to what is, and we honor the beauty and the gold and the perfection that is inherently threaded all throughout it, as it is, there's a level of peace that opens up the flow for so much beauty to emerge and so much to even flow into us. You know, it's a profound space of manifestation and actualization because we're at one with what is. So that's even like the word atonement. I love words. So atonement is at one with. It's another way to say harmony, forgiveness, resolution, peace. There's all these different words that we use, but if we can remember to pivot back into that space in any given moment, we immediately release resistance from our body, get back into our natural coherence, and allow the highest dimensional reality and beauty and abundance to unflow.
Wow. Wow. That is awesome. So then how do you help your clients get into this space? Like, do you typically work with individuals who are coming like, you know, from the typical formal world, or do you typically work with clients who are already embracing this type of lifestyle? So yeah, and then how do you help them, you know, carry on?
Yeah. So I have faith in my capacity to meet whomever comes to me wherever they are. I just tend to attract people who are having this, as it goes, the same experience that I am. So most of my people are just like fully calibrated, ready for their next level. They're almost on like, they've got this on hyper lock and they're just like, what is the next expansion of this?
Wow.
But people who are transitioning, you know, from that space, what I would recommend, well, a lot of even relaxing into the notion that it's safe to be at ease, that it's safe to not always be doing, to melt into the comfort, to savor the here and now, to focus on the breath. So an instant access point for all of us. You know, I say plant both feet on the ground, preferably on Mama Gaia, shoulder width apart. Take 30 deep whole body breaths. And there's a lot of science to this to calibrate and harmonize the whole system. Come back to the natural beat of your heart because that's your natural organic rhythm. And center from that space and then choose and then direct your reality. Then decide, what is it that I really want to be doing? What in my life is actually aligned to my truth and what isn't? And then start making those very practical shifts and adjustments to align yourself with what is really true and meaningful for you, and releasing from, you know, some of the things that you maybe have been choosing out of obligation or necessity, or, you know, even in a lot of cases, we've allowed other people to dictate and determine our own experience. So we've been playing by other people's rules. And so it's starting to become the masterful orchestrator of our own creation. And then another piece with that, to release a lot of the anxiety that can build up in our systems from being in those systems for so long, is I find womb work to be one of the most potent direct portals to cleansing, letting go, releasing, liberating our energy, and allowing new life to start to take shape in our physical being. So connecting to our sensuality, our felt perception, our sexuality, opening deeply into the womb. So it's like all the tension that maybe has built up in our upper chakras, in our neck, and because it's where most people hold it, in their neck, their back, all of this, because they're literally carrying the weight, the obligation, the density of all that they've brought with them up into this point in their life. And you just want to release and melt into the womb. And you really want to feel your energy coming all the way down into that space. You can even rub your hands together and envision pure honey liquid golden light. And you put it on your womb space, and this applies for men too. And you speak love and power and beauty and wisdom and authority and appreciation and celebration into that part of the body. And you'll notice all of your energy starts to evenly distribute throughout the body, where it may have been sticking or holding in certain focalized places. So doing that kind of release work. And then a kind of meditation that I do is I just go into the stillness, and I'm only focusing on the sensations that I feel in my body and listening to my body's innate wisdom and intelligence, because there's so much wisdom that our body has to reveal and gift to us. And so I just listen, I just feel, I listen to my environment. So I'm not thinking, like, what is my environment saying? What are the sounds and the frequencies going on around me? And I get into that pristine stillness. And then I start to feel, like, what is going on in my body? Where have I been holding resistance? Where am I releasing? And even to start to feel the ecstasy of letting go. And that's ideally to be in that place all the time. You know, that's when I shift into my meditations now. That's right where I go to. I'm just like, yes. And I'm feeling the ecstasy of just releasing and letting go and replenishment. But it's, you know, getting back in touch with our nature, our body, and all of that, and starting to unwind the resistance and shift into coherence with our pure flow. And then to make those very, say, practical choices around what kind of a life do I really want to be living, and how am I going to create that going forward? And in that, knowing that we are fully supported by the expanded dimensions of our own being, so of self, of the cosmos, of the universe. And so there's infinite possibilities for how that can come into being for us, through us, as us. And so to stay open to miracles and grace and blessings all along that path as well, you know, like doing our part in the dance of co-creation, and then also staying open to magical happenings and gifts and blessings and surprises all along the way.
Yes, that's so interesting, because as you spoke about that resistance and letting go, that has been one of the themes that it wasn't planned, but it's going on throughout this summit, how a lot of the speakers are speaking on how, you know, they were in one directions because, as we were told, you know, you go to school, you get a job, make money, happiness will follow. And then as you're going and you're pursuing, you realize that the happiness is not there. The direction you were going is not what you were doing. And I think, if I'm not exaggerating, 100% of the speakers have said once they turned the direction and started working in their entrepreneurship, how they had been desiring to do, then that's when they begin to release and things begin to flow. As a lot will say, you know, as once you're able to let go of that resistance, the universe somehow begins to show up and show things to you. People come your way, things happen that are for you, but you have to let that resistance go. But a lot of times people want to hold on to that.
Totally. It's like that fear of, like, if I let this go and I trust my truth fully, and I trust my own wisdom and my unique transmission and expression of genius, is that enough? Is that going to work? Is that, can I do this? So we learn to trust.
At times we hear it from a young age, because you have that, a lot of people will call it intuition, that feeling, that spirit inside of you that's telling you what to do. And so many times we just push it to the side, or we stuff it down and say, no, this is not it. And then you continue on, and it just keeps coming back and coming back until we are able to embrace it.
Yes. Yeah. And a way to find that too, you know, a lot of people say, follow your passion, follow your bliss, all of this. And then some people are like, I don't even understand what passion and bliss are, and how to even connect to that. What the heck is that? And so I just go into the space of what literally turns you on, what actually viscerally feels orgasmic and alive and juicy and expansive. Like, so I say follow your flow of free energy. Where is there the most free energy? What feels most exciting? And like, there's no resistance. You're totally stoked about it. You're lit up. You're inspired. You can go into that space and that realm forever and ever. Whatever that is, whatever that realm is for you, that's where you're going to naturally excel. So to follow that, because even in entrepreneurship, we can get in the realm of doing what, you know, this coach said to do, and that one said to do. And you just got to go into, like, what actually lights you up. So when you go into your visionary space, in the space of self-inquiry, what comes alive for you? What are you masterful at? What are you like just so enthralled by and enraptured by, that you could just savor it and melt into it and explore it forever and ever. And that's your natural direction.
And I experienced that because I had taken a coach, and some of the things they were telling me to do, I felt resistant to it. I was like, so I tried it, it didn't work. So then I tried it again, it still wasn't working. And then I just asked myself, what do you feel like you can do the best at? Okay, so maybe it's not going to bring you the all the rewards you want in the beginning. But I do believe that if I'm doing it from a place that I feel the love from, I feel like I'm giving my best from, then eventually I will get everything that is, deserved. So yeah, so it does becomes, like people, like you're saying, even along this journey, they, because they've done it and maybe it did work for them, but that doesn't necessarily mean it could work for you. Maybe you have to do it, just a little bit differently. So I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's program in some instant reward too. So it's like, the way that abundance is, it's just an expression of our being. So as we give and express abundance and love from our heart through whichever medium or form that we so choose, it automatically is returned into us from the universe. So we're just coding into the field that every time you express yourself, your love, your abundance, whether it's in your kitchen or whether it's with your partner or whether it's in a session or on a summit, that abundance is returned into you instantly, instant reward. Just know that, and just walk around in that, like, yep, I'm being a beacon of love. I am being a beacon of beauty and abundance and expression. And it's coming back to me right now. And I'm excited to see how it's going to show up.
Yes.
And I'm also going to request that it shows up to me in this specific way, in this specific way. So, even utilizing our capacity to consciously direct that flow and go, okay, I want this to be returned to me in this form, and being hyper specific about that. And so in the realm of abundance and money, saying, I want cash money flow deposited into my bank account. And I want to, I'm open and available to be of the highest, most pristine, loving service to all beings who come to me. And, and I want it returned to me in the form of a life partner, a lover, of financial abundance, of a surprise that lights my heart up with joy that I can't even see yet.
I love it. I love it. So this will be my last question before we start to wrap up. Why do you think that we've gotten so far away from operating in love? Because a lot of times you'll hear, oh, if you love too hard, you get hurt. If you give too much love, you don't get it in return. They put all these bad stigmas on love, when love, like we are discussing, is one of the purest and most beautiful forms that you can operate in. When it's coming from a place of love, people have a hard time, negating it or being forceful with it, because you're coming from that true, authentic place of love.
Yeah. So, the first thing that comes through is just a lot of scarcity and lack, believing that love, just like abundance or resources or energy, are somehow finite and limited to us. And so it's like we withhold love, or we don't give love because we're afraid that we're going to get hurt. But that mechanism actually creates the outcome that we don't want. So in the not giving and being generous and loving unconditionally, we create everything that we're trying to protect from. So the moment we allow those barriers to start to come down, and we just allow ourselves to be that, just because, it doesn't need to be any reason. It's because it's who we are, and it feels good to be who we are.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we're like, oh wow, the whole thing I was trying to protect myself from was really keeping me from the fullness of my own joy, my own health, my own vitality, my own flow of abundance. I was withholding from myself. Even though I was trying to preserve and protect myself, I was withholding from myself. So remembering that all that is an emanation of pure source. So whoever comes to you is source, masquerading as a beautiful human, and just engaging with life in that way, that field of pure trust, and knowing that source is truly the only presence that we're ever engaging with. So it's safe to open, to trust, to flow.
Wow.
That realm of awareness, and all that can unfold is good. All that can unfold is goodness in that space.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I hope our audience can resonate with that with love comes goodness. There's no way that you can have love and bad things begin to happen. It just doesn't work like that. That is awesome.
Yes.
So yes, as we're coming to an end, I like to ask all of the guest speakers about giving, and then how do you give in your personal life or your business life? Because we believe that, successful entrepreneurs do have that aspect of giving.
Yeah. So, I operate from pure intuitive flow at this point. So there's a million different ways that I give. One, I give in my moment-to-moment experience. So I'm constantly, I've had people reflect this to me before. I just walk around like Snow White with the sprinkling magical pixie dust and fairy dust on everything. I'm like constantly doing light blessings and alchemy in the field, just throwing love and light on everything around me. And also in my service, I mean, I have a plethora of resources. I have a YouTube channel people can plug into. It's extraordinarily valuable, potent, wisdom-packed transmissions that can support them across all areas of their life. I have a free gift on my website right now for whoever would love to visit solararose.com. If they join our email list, then they'll receive a free prosperity activation and ongoing support from me. I share in the online spaces as I'm called and guided, and all of my courses and programs come with, just the powerful container and space that I hold, but then also a massive, I've got membership sites and platforms for people to have, so that they have valuable resources to stay plugged into and that they have access to at their fingertips. So all these different ways that we can give, and looking at, so we can give in every single moment. We get our services. I am firm about our services right where we are. And so it comes through in all these different forms. It comes through our business. It comes through our creations. It comes through our relationships. It comes through how we are being in the moment. And so we can always be in a space of giving love. And I would just invite everyone to look at, what's your favorite way to create? What is your favorite way to give? What are your inspired ideas around how you can create beauty and value and prosperity in the world? And just give that, create a channel and a mode to give that. And then also create, the beautiful structures that you need to receive flourishing in return. So. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That made me think of that. When you're giving, you're not losing. A lot of times people like to say if you give too much, you lose, but you can never lose giving. That you will always get back much more than what you gave. That is really awesome. I love this one about love, giving,
yes.
letting go of resistance.
Yes, keeping that flow
excellent.
Open to come in and to go out, to come in to go out.
So as we're coming to an end, if there's anything that you can leave with our audience for them to really hold on to and try to work with, and again, we will have her link in the video so you can easily go there and grab her freebie that she has waiting for you. But please just share with us any, last wisdoms or advice you would like to give us.
Yeah, so I would say, go within, become intimate with your heart, trust your soul, trust your intuition, trust your guidance, trust your path, trust life.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Beautifully said. So again, this is your summit 2020, your vision 2020 summit. And we will have more great speakers, and we welcome you back, and we'll see you real soon. All right. Thank you so much, Solara. It was so great speaking with you today.
Thank you so much.